Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is February 1st, and this is video number 2 on the day. I wanted to bring you the latest from the National Weather Service and from the weather models to show you what is upcoming here with this next system, and you can already see its high clouds off to the left of the screen here. In the meantime, quite a few lightning strikes across the state of California today that kicked off across Arizona and Utah as well, and even a couple strikes still just to the northwest of the Los Angeles metro as I'm speaking right now. This cold air is going to continue to flood in to the state here. So we're going to get thunderstorm activity tomorrow and probably across the northern portion of the state as we go through Saturday as this storm starts to arrive here and brings another round of some very heavy rainfall anywhere from the Bay Area all the way down through Southern California. Potentially deadly flooding could be incoming here, folks. And I'll show you what I mean as we go through the video here tonight, taking a look at the infrared satellite imagery. Look at Alaska here in California. There's the Hawaiian Islands. This is the next system out here. It's got a subtropical and a tropical tap as it moves across the Pacific Ocean here, and it's going to meet up with some very cold air here over the northeast Pacific Ocean, and this is really going to create a clash. I mean, you're dealing with the tropics versus the polar regions here. This polar lobe is going to meet up with a very potent atmospheric river and just bring some intense rainfall amounts anywhere from north of the Bay Area down through Southern California. And we're going to look at those details here in a moment. And the National Weather Service is not mincing words here, folks. They've got moderate coastal flooding potential. Stay off the ocean until conditions improve. Dangerous rip currents, and you might just want to put off swimming here for a few days. Let these storms get out of here first. But we're going to have big wave action and strong winds as well. And you can see the rain timing and intensity. And notice the wording they are using: life-threatening and damaging flooding here. And right now, they have the biggest threat here Sunday night, February 4th. And the snow level is going to be about 6,000 feet. And just some really intense rainfall amounts are likely. Chance of thunderstorms as well. Again, from Los Angeles National Weather Service, look at the impacts and actions, and pause this video if you need to see all the possibilities here. And they're talking about an extended period of heavy rain peaking Sunday through Monday, and just ridiculous amounts for some of the mountains and foothills are going to be incoming here, folks, and even some of the lower elevations. And this is also the National Weather Service Los Angeles, if you can believe that. A lot of stuff coming out from here. This is a very serious situation. Major atmospheric river storm is coming Sunday through Tuesday, February 4th through 6th. Do not want to mince words here. This is a life-threatening situation unfolding for some areas, and you can see it in their wording here. Now, taking a look in the meantime, flood watch, and this ends 4 a.m. tomorrow, but some of that shower activity could cause some nuisance flooding and some thunderstorms all the way through Thursday. And this is small hail Friday, Northern California. Watch for hail. Slow down when you run into those icy roads. And there's also going to be some light snow down to about 2,500 feet here for Northern California all the way through 10 p.m. Friday. So kind of some lower snow levels out there. So heads up for that. Some of the back roads, and also the day 1 through 3 over winter storm impacts here. There's still going to be piling up some snow here, and you might get some heavy snow showers at times all the way on in towards Saturday before that next system even arrives, which could potentially be a very big snowmaker here for some of the Sierra Nevada as well. And some impacts even across Southern California. But this is that frontal system, again, moving on. You can see the shower activity kind of rolling back in here, and that's what's kicking off some of the thunderstorm activity just off to the northwest Los Angeles, and it's probably moving into the city proper as we speak right now. So don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder or see some lightning out there across Los Angeles tonight. And if I go this all the way back, you can see some of these cores that moved over San Diego down here, but it looks like they kind of dodged the airport themselves, but some of the surrounding areas still got some very heavy rainfall associated. And if you like rain, don't worry about it if you missed out on some of the bigger amounts, because we definitely got more to come. And I want to show you the high resolution rapid refresh. You can see the shower activity as we go through tonight, all the way on in through tomorrow. Again, a thunderstorm threat is going to be apparent for much of the state. And as we go on in through the day Friday, you'll see then eventually Saturday, even Northern California again Saturday. But do you see this down here? That's the warm front from our next storm. And this could kick off the rain as early as Saturday. I mean, the HRRR wants to bring it in here, on Saturday morning? Jeez. And then you get this persistent light to moderate rainfall that's even in advance of this very potent atmospheric river that's going to be following this up. More on that here in a moment, but here's the day 3 excessive rainfall outlook, and that's that initial stage of that next round of precipitation rolling in towards the central coast there. But look at day 4. They've already introduced moderate. Check it out. Santa Barbara, Ventura County, down towards Point Conception, and that slight goes all the way north of the Bay Area here as well. And again, it's going to depend on the track of this low pressure center coming up. But look at day 5. That moderate slides down towards and includes the Los Angeles metro, and we have a chance to go high risk here, folks, and that's when the really nasty stuff can happen. So you really got to pay attention, especially if you are in some of the foothills and the higher terrain or anywhere in Southern California. You really need to know what's up. I mean, if you're near any kind of dry riverbed activity or anything like that, you could really be susceptible to some of this flooding. And now taking a look at the European, this is the 18Z here. This is the newest versus this morning's 12Z run. There's been a little bit of a change here. It's not going to change up the dynamics of the storm too much, but I'll show you what I mean. Now, look at this morning's. It had that moisture initially starting off a little bit further south towards Southern California, but look at this low trended north this afternoon's run, actually late morning's run. But look at this very dynamic and heavy precipitation all the way up towards the Bay Area. The Bay Area is under the gun in this scenario again. As you can see, this initial portion of the storm as of this morning had it going more into Southern California, but you know, the heavy rain is still incoming here, folks. I mean, look at this. These are 6-hour chunks. And if we start here, this is already very heavy rain falling across some of Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, the Central Coast, the Bay Area. That's 6 hours and it hasn't moved at all. That's torrential rainfall here, folks. That's a deep tropical tap with a polar lobe, just an intense gradient driving this atmospheric river back into the state. Pretty similar to what this morning's had as well. And then you can see there's another 6 hours and it didn't even move. And now it's starting to creep down towards Los Angeles. There's another 6 hours, another 6 hours. This is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, I root for pretty extreme weather, but this is going to be very devastating as this is going to unfold here. So I'm kind of hoping that this just comes in weaker and is a little bit more progressive because, you know, I'd rather not see people lose their lives just because of a storm. And what's going on here as well is it looks like there's a little bit of secondary low development trying on the back side of this also. And it kind of hangs on the precipitation a little bit longer on in through Tuesday versus this morning's run there. And then maybe another system after that, but we got way too much to worry about in the meantime to even start to deal with that. And I want to give you the visual diagram of what's going on here because this is this morning's frontal system there. You can see that subtropical tap with the plume of precipitable water. And you can see at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, the cold air associated that's spilled over the area and brought the thunderstorm activity today. It's going to continue that on in through tomorrow and on into Saturday here for Northern California as well. But then you've got this very cold polar lobe in place with the very warm tropical tap. I mean, this is what meteorology is all about, you guys. This comes all the way from the tropics. This comes all the way from the North Pole here. So just a dynamic gradient, just a complete clash of air masses here. The atmosphere is going to be angry, my friends, just like an old man trying to send back soup at a deli. And looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies, look at this. You're just adding fuel to the fire. The ocean is relatively very warm compared to normal, and that's just going to increase the water vapor and the low-level lapse rates and just the intensity of this rainfall that does occur across central to Southern California. Now, taking a look at the GFS 18Z, actually, let me do this. I think the 0Z is running, and it is. Do we even dare look at this thing? I have not seen the 0Z yet, but check it out. You can see that warm front action starting for the Central Coast as we go through. It's starting sometime on the evening of Saturday, according to the GFS. And look at that 988 millibar low, spreading precipitation. The Bay Area is under the gun here, folks. And then you can see it start as we go on into Sunday afternoon. I mean, right there is already pretty heavy rain occurring as you're on into about 21Z on Sunday. I mean, actually even a little bit sooner than that. That's about 10 a.m. It's already starting to cross Santa Barbara and Ventura County and just absolutely pegging the area there. And look at this torrential rainfall. This is just ridiculous. Nice snowmaker for the Sierra Nevada, but look at this 982 millibar low right off the coastline here. The models trended a little bit weak with the slow, but now they're bouncing back and bringing it further north, which just means it's going to include more of the state. What a dynamic storm. And look at this. These are 3-hour chunks, and this torrential rain is not moving too much, but it does weaken a little. But look how it just wants to hang out all the way on in through Tuesday morning. And the GFS also showing a little bit of that secondary low development, maybe keeping some of that precipitation going all the way into Tuesday night before another system arrives as we go on in through the later portion of the week. We're not even going to worry about that right now. Too much going on. Look at the North American model. This is hot off the presses as well. So let's take a look at what it says. You can see the precipitation from the next warm front here. Then we get this merger, this tropical air mass just meeting up with its polar opposite, this polar lobe, 988 millibar low, nasty low pressure center with very powerful winds up and down the coastline. And that's something that's going to get overlooked here a bit as well. I mean, look at this pressure gradient. You're looking at 4, 8, 12, 16 millibars from Santa Barbara basically to San Jose. That's going to be extremely intense winds. winds. And again, look at this torrential rain, just wants to hang up somewhere on Southern California. Just bad news here, folks. So when you see the National Weather Service talking about life-threatening conditions coming up, they are not lying. And this is looking at San Francisco International Airport, 24 hours, 3 inches here. The Bay Area is back in play in the most recent model runs. You're going down the coastline a bit here as well, 2.3 in a 24-hour period with a potential for more. This is Los Angeles, the latest control, 4.1 in a 24-hour period. Look at Burbank. I mean, you're talking about 6.3 inches in a 24-hour period. Just absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like a fantasy forecast that you're looking way out into the future. But this is on its way, folks. And if it doesn't hit Bob Hope Airport here at Burbank, it's likely to hit someplace very close. Just intense rainfall. I mean, look at some of the ensembles. 10 inches in a 24-hour period just would be catastrophic flooding. No other way to put it. Now, taking a look at the North American model, put this into motion and look at the snowfall kind of piling up here as we go through the day tomorrow. Again, with that cold air mass and the showers, some nice snowfall, some lower snow levels out there. So watch out. Check the road conditions before you go back and forth across the pass areas, because when snowplow goes across, if you drop one of those heavy showers, it drops 2 inches of snow. It can make things quite slick. And then as we go on to Sunday morning, look at the snow just pile up with this extremely dynamic storm, just really bringing some big amounts across the Sierra Nevada as well. And even some bigger amounts for some of the higher terrain of Southern California and Nevada as well. So interesting stuff there. And yeah, back to the start here. We're just taking a look at the lightning one more time. Looks like some strikes again. We're just near the Los Angeles metro there. Pretty intense stuff. Yeah, actually a few more there since we've been talking. But wow, that storm means business here, folks. I'm going to do my normal briefing tomorrow. Probably going to do a live stream tomorrow night so we can drive home the point to everybody. Everybody can be prepared for what's coming. Because what tends to happen, even if you get a big storm like this, if you get people prepared, what you want, the goal of the National Weather Service is to have everybody go, yeah, that was a decent storm, but we're okay. And a lot of times that happens when you're prepared for it. It's when you're not prepared or you didn't get any word on what's coming where people really get impacted here. So if you're prepared, you're much less likely to be somebody who's like, oh my gosh, that was catastrophic and my house got flooded and I didn't clean out the drains around my home, or I'm not aware that I'm in a low-lying flood-prone area and I live next to a dry creek bed that all of a sudden became a raging torrent and just took my house away or flooded the entire neighborhood. You know, it's important to know things like that. Know your elevation, know where your dry creek beds are, know exactly where you are on these maps. So when I talk about certain areas, you know what's upcoming here. And also check in with the live stream tomorrow, and you know, you can talk about it with me as well, and you can ask questions and whatnot. There'll probably be a lot of people in the chat, but I do my best to try to answer as many questions as I can. But anyway, I got to get this video out here, so I'm going to wrap it up now. We'll do this again tomorrow morning, live stream tomorrow night, and I will talk to you guys then.